every time you walk into a comedy room, someone has changed your mind.
Yeah.
If you are having a good time.
In so many ways, doing badly in a show, you learn so much more than doing well in a show. Yeah.
Older comedians have a certain perspective of how stand-up should be, and when there's someone like Nanette, the show, that's not stand-up.
We tend to put a lot of ourselves into our craft where we see things differently. That's why we have like very conceptual and experimental shows.
Hi everyone, I'm Apshi.
Hi, I'm Shaq.
I'm Harresh AU.
And I'm Kavin Jay.
And I'm Joanne Kam.
And welcome to the Woke Up Show. Alright, first of all, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so excited. I think we're gonna laugh a lot. Hopefully laugh.
Just don't assume, don't assume.
Okay.
Don't put pressures like that. Like, suddenly we make you cry out.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you roast me, I might cry, but I don't mind that. I don't mind a little bit.
We don't know you to roast you yet. Maybe
After
we'll
this,
laugh
by the end of this,
maybe.
Okay, so before we start, maybe you can introduce yourselves. Whoever wants to go first.
Go lah, since you talk.
We're going this way, okay?
Yeah,
hi, my name is Kavin Jay. I'm a professional unemployed person. And that's what I've been doing for the past 16 years.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Shaq. I have a daytime job, but I'm here because I'm a stand-up comedian. I love doing what I do. Both things.
Well, what's your daytime job? You didn't tell somebody.
Oh yeah, I'm a teacher.
So much passion in that.
Right.
What are you waiting for? Red carpet.
Sorry, I thought she was going to go on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my name is Harresh AU and I do comedy as well.
What does the AU stand for?
Yeah, up to now I still don't know.
So the AU is initials of my parents. A is my Asohan, my dad. U is Usha, my mom. Yeah.
I thought
Also nothing to do with the goal element and all.
Nothing to do with the joke, nothing.
There's no
that
joke to
wouldn't
that.
make sense.
I
for
thought
me
AU was like short for Arumugam or something.
No,
like,
dude.
because there's the A, the U there, so I thought it is.
Oh, and you call me racist.
I'm Indian, that's not racist.
Look, I'm the only Chinese here. Just to let you know.
Okay, I think she's done it.
You are here for white balance.
Yeah, I know. The white light. You know.
Anything else?
No, sadly, no. I'm so sorry.
What did you do? What do you?
Oh, I just quit my job to do comedy full time.
Wow. Is that smart?
For me, yeah.
What was your job?
I was doing digital marketing.
Oh.
Did you like it?
No, I fucking hated it.
You also organize monthly
Yeah,
comedy shows?
I do this monthly show called The Lineup. It's a comedy variety show. And yeah.
Wow. And there you have it.
The most excitement I've had all week.
The lineup. But yes, go and support new comedy, whatever. I'm like the old mother hen of comedy lah. I've been doing this for so long.
Joanne, introduce yourself first.
I don't even remember how long already.
No, tell people who you are first
Who
before
am
you start
I? I
talking.
also don't know. I forgot.
Take out your IC, just show.
I'm Joanne Kam. Yes, I am the oldest in this team. Although I look younger lah. I look younger.
Are you the oldest?
Are you
Wait a minute.
We don't ask ladies that.
Don't simply assume, okay?
Shaq, are you older than me?
I think so.
Wait a minute. I'm 49 this year. Woohoo! I'm gonna be 50.
I'm younger. I'm 32.
See?
Wait, hold on.
What?
I believed you.
See?
There is no way she's 32.
Told you.
No, shut up. Tell the truth.
What? My age?
Yeah.
No, I can't reveal that. You have to come and see my show to know the age.
No,
Yeah,
fine,
that's
fair
fair.
enough.
Yes,
But
that's fair.
are you older or younger than Joanne?
I'm older.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, God.
You got. See, she called you
Cannot-
that. She called you that.
No, she didn't catch me anywhere. Okay? Don't simply.
Okay, so what do you guys think the comedy scene is like here in Malaysia?
Okay, initially, once upon a time, a long time ago, there was no such thing as comedy. Comedy came from overseas. I think me and Kumar started it in Singapore. That time we didn't even know what we were doing was comedy until we came here.
Yeah.
30 years ago, boom boom room. I guess I was the first comedian that cracked a joke.
Yes, Joanne was the one who invented comedy in Malaysia.
Wow.
Before this, nobody laughed.
Nobody laughed.
Nobody laughed. And then she showed up and then everybody like,
They were
"Haha,
just
what is this?"
What is
yeah.
that?
They were like so surprised. It was like orgasm. It
Yeah,
was
I
like
mean-
laughter orgasm like that. Like on stage, off stage.
I want to see that so badly. Just
Every weekend, bro. Boom, boom, boom. Like that. Okay, yes. So that was then. And then all the new comedians came. I actually saw Kavin in a show where I headlined so long ago. He was actually slim.
And lots of hair,
A lot of hair.
No, less hair, I think.
not here.
No. He got hair.
He had
He
the
got hair.
soul patch, right? The
Oh,
thin
yeah,
soul
yeah,
patch.
yeah. I used to have the Craig David.
Yeah. And then slim, yo. I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Well, I saw Joanne when she was much bigger. And then she slimmed down now.
That's nice.
So we've all been one round.
But what about comedy now? What is it like now?
It's exciting.
Exciting?
Yeah, so Karen, go ahead.
No, you talk.
Please.
You the young, the old, the young.
No, we are getting to see a lot of different kind of acts now. It's a very colorful scene, I believe, and just can't wait for it to grow more.
How do you see it growing?
I mean, I see my brand growing, but I'm not sure whether that's
Whoa.
The lineup,
The lineup, The lineup. Where's this lineup again?
it's in Desa Sri Hatama's.
Desa Sri Hartama.
You're a man of very colorful words. Just like you cannot the whole. If you only had 1 hour for you to talk, it'd be great.
Yeah, correct. It's so hard
Yeah.
to get words out of you.
Out of him?
Yeah.
It's
So
just
when you go on Tinder dates, also the same thing. Like it's so hard to get things out of you.
No, he just says hi and then they end up in his bed.
Is that
that's
how it
all.
works?
Really?
Yeah. Hey,
you honestly
you
think
you
women
don't
that?
know Harresh.
I don't know.
You don't know.
What
Harresh.
you do? Drug them.
He's not Bill Cosby. Calm down.
I don't go on dates actually.
See, he doesn't even need to go on dates. Anyway, moving on very swiftly from Harresh.
Yes, please.
Please go ahead.
No, please don't.
No, I mean, look, the future of comedy, I guess it as Harresh said, is very exciting in so many words. But there's no limit to what we can do. There's no limit to where we can go, and it's very exciting because the new comics that are coming out. As Harresh said, it's very colorful. There's a lot of variety to what you want to see. It's like, I perform in America, I perform in the UK, and there's a lot of comedians who do the same thing. They're very similar, as in the jokes are different, but the style is similar, just basically seeing the same comedian.
Yeah.
Over. But in Malaysia, you don't get that. Every single comedian has a different vibe, has a different style, and it's very nice to see
And
that.
there's also
and
like a
see.
big appetite for comedy in Malaysia, right?
Not really.
You don't think so?
Not enough. I don't think there's enough of an appetite. I don't think there's enough of people who know there's comedy beyond the parliament. It's... Right. They only know two comedy. Harry Iskandar, Parliament. That's it.
That's true. Very true.
I mean, if you merge both of them together, they kind of look like they could be in a
I think Harry
parliament.
Iskandar gonna run for Parliament.
Is it?
I think so.
The other comedian already started, what?
Oh, yeah, the Aflin, right?
Aflin.
Aflin, naman. But that one, I'm very sure Harry Iskandar. Anyway, moving on very swiftly from
Moving on very
politics
swiftly.
talk. It's hard because the audience don't know, and surprisingly enough, like even I've been doing for 16 years. Joanne been doing for 30. We still have new people coming to the show.
Yeah.
Have
Like
you been
never
doing
seen
it
comedy
for
before.
30 years?
Actually, more than 30 if you want to count Singapore. But I'm just counting it Malaysia. 30.
Wow.
Boom Boom Room Singapore started. Okay, Boom Boom Room KL started 2001.
That's before Shaq was born.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2001. I went to Boom Boom again in Lebo Ampang. The best part is, it's now called the Go Down. It's an art space.
The go down.
It's called the Go Down. You
Okay.
go there to go down.
Sure. Is that stairs or?
No, it's a whole, it's a space. It's a space where you can do art exhibition. They want art installation, all
Okay.
lah. So apparently, okay, this one is, I tell you, the real drama is, on top is St. John's.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh.
So every time after the weekend, because, it's the whole Sin City below, then on Sunday, they have Alcoholic Anonymous up there.
Oh,
So we
wow.
always joke and say, people drunk from Boom Boom, they just climb up and
Go for the AA meeting.
Go for the AA meeting. And up to today, they don't allow performances there because, the pastor, they're upset that when they saw it being renovated, they're like, oh, you cannot bring the boom boom back. You cannot bring this comedy show. Or cannot. If loud music, we're going to complain. The best part is the mama downstairs still remember me. He's still alive, oh. I'm like so surprised. He was like, kakak, you buat show lagi ah. You buat saya buka malam. So it's nice. It's always nice to go into memory lane.
Yeah. So how do you guys write jokes?
Shaq?
How do you write a joke?
Young people.
How do I write a joke? Okay, a recent joke that I wrote last week. It was about a cockroach. It really happened.
Wow.
I found a cockroach in my bathroom and I didn't kill it.
Oh no.
So I was thinking. So it started from there. So a lot of my jokes are experiences, things I go through, stuff I see. Yeah, that's how I get my
You
jokes.
sort of draw from your own life experience.
Yep.
What happened if you don't have life experience?
But who doesn't have life experience, right?
Yeah.
Harish, how do you write a joke?
Harish, how? If you
Harish,
have
you
no
need to
experience.
pull the conversation
Hey, the
out of
lineup,
him.
yo, the lineup.
Hey, he's doing his solo show at the lineup.
I mean, I started off making stuff up that wasn't real. So it's just everything was made up, and then
Like what do you mean?
like what do I mean? It's just like writing fictional stuff.
It's just like straight up writing fiction for you.
Yeah. But then as I started doing it more, then I started being observant of the things around me and what people do, how they say things. And then I just started absorbing.
But how
my
do you know
environment.
what's going to be funny and what's not?
I don't know until I try it out.
It's just trial and error.
Yeah. I never know, like, whenever I write a punchline, I've never laughed at my own jokes. That's one thing.
Neither have I.
Yeah, that's a
his
good.
jokes?
No, I find it very odd if you laugh at your own jokes,
I
you
laugh
know?
at my own joke.
Do you?
Yeah, sometimes.
I thought you would tell me so that I will laugh and I will like...
No,
oh,
first I
then-
laugh and then I tell you, then you laugh.
So we've been working like that since 1 year ago. like come in. And then we'll be stressed. Yeah.
Hey, back to Harish.
I thought I was done.
We are trying not to steal the conversation away.
No, I like getting information from Harish is like
trying to
squeezing.
pull it out
It's like,
of
like
him,
squeezing a already dry lemon, you know.
Don't forget the lineup. Hey, you cannot pay for this advertisement, bro. Okay?
I don't understand what that means.
Okay.
Okay, so well, nowadays when I write jokes is like again being observational and like when things happen for me, I try to understand why do I feel a certain thing. So in a way, I'm trying to explore my feelings towards what happened and how I would fix or change something to how I want it to be, or how I hope it would be, how I hope it would turn out in a different way. Yeah, it's me trying to correct something. If I was in that situation, someone's situation, in that whatever that is, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, again, it's just exploring how I feel about certain things. Yeah, it's very retrospective.
Okay.
Yeah,
But still a lot of it drawn from experience.
definitely.
Yeah.
Almost most of it, yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I think drawing from experience is a very common theme. I think one of the ways of writing material is to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And being honest with yourself is drawing from your own experience. Sometimes, yes, we do draw from other people's experience, but then we selfishly kind of make it our own experience as well.
Yeah.
Just to make it more authentic. But
No, because if like you have a bunch of friends and they're not stand-up comedians, you can just take their material, right?
that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
No, don't steal material.
No,
not
it's
stealing
like their
material,
life material.
Yeah, like what she's saying is like when you have a conversation with friends who are not comedians, and then they tell you a funny story, and then you're like, yeah, I can use that to kind of change it.
You can
to,
like work
I think
it.
that's fair enough.
Go in that
Okay,
side, not
then.
stealing their jokes.
but it doesn't quite work that way because sometimes it doesn't fit what your this thing. It's a very complicated thing. It's not as easy as you tell me a funny story, I can use it in my jokes.
Yeah.
It's not that. There's a lot of differences between stand-up comedy and also conversational jokes. Conversational jokes, there's a lot of context that is waived because when I'm having a conversation with my friend, there's a lot of context which I don't have to do because
you
your
just
friend knows
know.
you know your friend. So that exchange can happen very easily. However, with a bunch of audience who don't know who you are or don't know the context to what is happening at that time, the building of the context just becomes so tedious that eventually you just go like
by the time you hit the punchline, you've told like a whole
so
story.
might as well just do a knock joke. So it's so much faster, right? So that's the thing. So it's building of a joke is about context. It's about building that relationship with the audience and building and knowing what they want and knowing what you want and finding that medium that everybody is happy, right? So I write my material very differently. I have ideas and I write on stage. I don't write on paper because
so you just do it on stage?
Okay, it's a bit more complicated than that. Everybody has a formula to write.
Yeah.
Right. And some people have to do it on paper because that's how the formula comes out. I cannot do it on paper because, I have learning disabilities. Dyslexia.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Me too.
I have dyslexia. She has trouble pronouncing dyslexia.
Yes.
And
Now I'm a special needs teacher.
Yes.
Best student.
So everybody has their own design. So he does it on stage. Yeah.
No, I do it on stage because actually my dyslexia helps me. Because the reason you have dyslexia is sometimes your brain works faster than your eyes.
Yeah.
Your brain processes information faster than what your eyes can process, which is why all the letters jumble up. Correct? See, so
Somewhat
okay,
lah.
layman lah. You want me to bring out the medical document, is it? No, so basically,
Get to your point.
I'm getting lah. She looking at me one kind.
Oh my god.
No, but
like 3.5
basically that
hours.
works better because on stage, my brain can work 2 steps ahead. So while I'm telling this joke, I'm already thinking of 2-3 jokes ahead. So I can actually form a joke in my head while I'm telling another
While
joke.
you're telling another joke.
Yeah.
Wait, I just want to add on. He's really good at crowd work. So I think that's the
that's
on
like
the
the
spot
magic,
he's so good.
It's consequential. I'm good at crowd work because I can do that.
Okay.
But also crowd work takes you need to be very confident that
Yes.
you can
Yeah.
do crowd work.
The confidence is 90% of what you do.
Correct.
Because if you're not confident, it's never about what you say. Is the speed of it's the speed of what you said. Like if you can come up with an answer like that, it doesn't have to be funny because you can replicate it later. It won't be funny, but at that time, because
in
the
the
audience
moment,
the audience feel like they're part of the joke and everything works accordingly as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Because with his style and my style very different. I'm a writer, so I need the text. I need to write. My issue, which I always find, is after I write maybe 3 pages, what I can use is only 1 page because by the time you go on stage and then you have different expression, you say it differently, your intonation, and I'm one person that always believe the intonation needs to be right, especially if you're doing the setup and also the punchline. And the other thing is because with Kavin and me, my kind of comedy is very different to Kavin's, but because we have been doing it for so long, people expect that of us. I sometimes feel that I may be beholden to what the expectation of my crowd is. Like right now, I'm starting to steer from those setup punchline jokes. My jokes are more story based, long form. And I realized with long form, if I'm doing it in a comedy club or whatsoever, I have only 20 minutes. So which means 10 minutes, I need to hit it and leave. So for me, it's if I have a long form jokes that is 15 minutes long, that means I'm positioning in such a way if this does not get them going, I have nothing else because I've already wasted 15 minutes. And sometimes also it depends on the crowd, what kind of show it is. If it's a rah-rah crowd and all they want is just give me the setup, give me the punchline. So the storytelling style does not work because I've done it before where all my jokes are very short based, like just punch. Then there was one joke that I was bringing it down, talking about my life, and I realized the audience all of a sudden they went quiet, not because they weren't listening. They went quiet because they were listening, but they were like trying to find the mode. Because let's put it this way, let's say if you're starting them with porn, and then all of a sudden you go Animal Planet, you know?
Yeah.
And then so they're like, hey, wait a minute.
Kind of have to reorient.
I was like, I thought I was watching porn. And all of a sudden, you know, oh, this flamingo from this, you know, wetlands, you know?
So do you kind of like have to change up your jokes based on the audience?
Yeah, 100%.
Just there and then immediately.
Yes. I mean, it's very...
First
what we
30
do-
seconds.
Yeah.
First 30 seconds. Not even 1 minute.
No, actually, no. You can gauge up to a minute, I think. And also the fact that what we do is we probably gauge from the comedian before us.
Yeah.
We already know. Like the comedian before us, what he does and how the crowd reacts. So immediately, I think we are experienced enough to know the crowd. Okay, we know that this is what they want and this is what they do. And sometimes, you know, there are crowds that just want a bang, bang, bang. Just make me laugh kind of crowd. And there is crowds that want to be entertained in a sense that, you know, I want something more than just laughing. I want a story. I want an emotional connection. Then, yeah, you kind of gauge that. When you get on stage, immediately you kind of make that connection with the audience, and you, as I said, you find out what the audience wants, you find out what you want to do, and you find a happy medium, and somewhere in between is.
Does that just take practice?
It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of going through all those this thing and learning your lesson from each audience. In so many ways, doing badly in a show, you learn so much more than doing well in a show.
Yeah. So how did you guys make the leap into doing stand-up, like your first show or your first open mic or however you started?
Let's we start with the younger ones first.
Yeah.
Our story is very long.
Yeah, 30 years long.
Very long.
Okay, Harresh, go first.
Harresh was
How old are you, Harresh?
31. Okay, so
What do you want, the applause break, is it?
let's do it, guys.
Well done.
So when I was a kid, my dad would watch Seinfeld a lot. And only thing I remember from that at that time was in the beginning of the episode and towards the end, he'll do his bits. And as a kid, looking at that, I was like, yo, that guy has a lot of power. He has a lot of power, and I wanted to have that power. And like fucking 20 years go by, and I was working in this private school as a librarian, and I was making all the kids and teachers laugh. And then one of the teachers was like, you should try stand up. And that's when I was just Googling, and then I found Crack House, and that's how I started.
You just signed up.
I just signed up. Yeah.
Didn't think too much, you just did it.
I didn't think too much, and the more I started doing it, the more I started, I fucked up a lot at work. And then one of the teachers was like, you should leave.
You should leave.
No, leave as in like stop doing this work because this job is shit. Like,
Wow, really? Your teacher, do you advise this?
That's what they said in front of him, lah. No, you do comedy. Don't do the job. At the
Don't be
back, they're like, you feel
librarian.
shit at the job. I hope he leaves.
Yeah, and that's how I started. Yeah, that was.
So you just kind of was like, you know what? I think I'm funny. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, no, I didn't thought it was funny. I knew. I mean, I was.
You knew you were funny.
No. I never knew. Until now, I'm fucking lucky. I'm not funny.
No, but 70% of most of the people who do comedy are people who somebody had told them, hey, you're quite funny, huh? Maybe you should try this stand-up.
And then they were like, okay.
Right?
No.
Shaq, how did you happen?
I started with writing, actually. I started writing funny, and then I had this thing at the Georgetown Literary Fest. And it so happened I was on a panel, and someone asked, like, so what are you going to do after this? And I was saying, I kind of like telling the story. It was like after writing, just reading the story. And then after the whole thing was over, someone who was doing comedy workshops in Penang came and said, we're going to start a new one in January. Would you like to join? But I was based here, but Penang is my hometown. So I said, and it was free. So, and he got a grant for something, and then so that's how I started. Like you go, it's twice a month. Once you go for like a workshop thingy, and then once you perform. So my first year was in Penang, like performing once a month. And then after that, I became braver and sought out open mics here. Yeah, that's how I first met Monty. Monty is like one of my mentors where I first started. And then from there, I went to like Crack House and mostly Crack House. That was, when I started, it was I think only Crack House and Oasis. But now there are a lot of open mics that you can join and shows and that.
Because Oasis is like Oasis. You go there, you don't return. Yeah.
You go first.
What do you call this? I think because I started as a performer in Singapore first, and it's always comedy roles. Like I will play.
So like in skits and things like that?
In skits, or when I'm doing what do you call this? Part character walk. I play this Chia Sanku, which is a matchmaker. And then what happened was one day they needed an MC for the Golden Lion show. And then no one was available in the roster that could MC. And I said, no, let me try. And then they realized because I look like the lion dancer, so both very big and chubby. And like cute lah. Someone pulled out a video on Facebook. They uploaded it with the ball. So it became like very cute because everyone was like, oh, this fat girl, she's also quite funny. She looked like the lion. The lion looked like her. And then it just happened like that. So I was doing a funny MC kind of thing. I didn't know I was going to be a comedian until I went to Boom Boom Room Singapore. Because after I did like a spot with Kumar, because we also had to do like funny mime items, like what all the drag queens do. So after that, I was just kind of like asked to join them. So that was my first time I did comedy was on Boom 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 stage, Singapore.
Wow.
It was like, we didn't even know it was comedy. What we did, we'll just go and buy all the books that we have, the joke books, and then we'll try and retell those jokes into our personal experience because we didn't write at that time.
Okay.
Then a few years after that, when I came back to KL, then there's a new immersion where Kavin and all that, and then everybody's like, you need to write. So from then, I just started writing and haven't stopped since.
And you just write, you just kind of...
Well, because at that time, you see, like 30 years ago, there's no YouTube, the only other comedian was Margaret Cho and Ellen the Generous. And we bought her DVD and I bought Ellen's cassette and not to say anything, but those were the only two comedians that I could think of.
Female comedian.
Yeah, it wasn't so easily accessible. Now everyone's very lucky that you can go to a comedy club, you can go to a spot where they have comedy nights, you can find friends who are of the same genre as you and like, hey guys, I want to do comedy. What can we do now? There is a support team. Before that, it was just alone. Like for the longest time, it was just alone.
Now, even for me, it was the same thing. Like she started, that one was 30 years ago story. Mine was 16 years ago. Even when I started 16 years ago, YouTube was just like that time only blowing up. But the thing was that there was still no open mics because in Malaysia there was only two stand-up comedians at the time, you and Harresh. And they were not doing open mics.
Unless Indie Ellen.
No, Indie Ellen, different story. They were still fighting. So the thing was there was no open mics. There was no opportunity for me to just go up to Harresh and go like, hey, can I do one of your shows? He's not gonna. It's gonna be this thing. So we just decided that me and my cousin Andrew Neto at that time just decided like, hey, we're quite funny, right? Let's just do a show lah. And we got 150 of our friends, put them in a pub and told jokes, and that's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, and
so you kind of like had like your own headlining show as your first...
Yeah, as my first show, I did 25 minutes.
Voila!
Wait, hold on. No, Andrew did really well. I died for 25 minutes.
What, 3.5 hours?
Huh? You opened? No, I went last, of course. I'm the elder one. No, but yeah, I died for 25 minutes because I thought
did you bomb?
Yeah, 100%. And the best part was the pity laughs from the audience because they were all my friends. And they were, no, at first they were like, because I thought, I didn't know what comedy was. I thought because I watched Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock.
So you were trying to be Eddie.
No, you see, the thing is,
Eddie Rock.
What I thought was, because after watching them, that if you swear enough, people will laugh.
Oh my God, you went on a rampage.
Yeah, I was just fuckity fuck. Like, just, that's all I thought comedy was. I didn't know that comedy was actual jokes.
Yeah.
Then, no, but that's the thing. But all my friends were like, at first it was silence. After that, it was like, they realized that they started pity laughing. And in fact, in the corner of my ear, I can actually hear people go like, what is he doing? Does he know? Then after the show, people go, yeah, good show, guys. And you can see the fakeness in the eyes.
I'm just amazed you have 150 friends.
That's why I don't have friends now. They all left.
No, you're very sad, you know.
Yeah.
I go mama with you, we have 2 other friends.
No, mostly it's Neto's friends, but still, Andrew Neto. But still, it was, you know, I could feel that this thing, and I thought that was it. Like I'm done. I'm not going to do comedy again. And then
How do you kind of get over that? Because I feel like the idea of doing comedy sounds fun, but like the idea about bombing feels like I would just die.
No, I think the next month or so, I think there was another show. It was an open mic night. The first ever open mic night.
Where was this?
2006.
But where? Was it in...
Actor Studio.
Oh.
With the
is
Comeback
it with
Kings.
the Comeback Kings?
Yes.
That was the one that I saw you at also.
The first one or the second one?
I think the second one. I remember.
Second one was next year already.
Was it?
That was Douglas Lim's one. The one that Harry Kanda headline. So that one, me and Neto went there. And I didn't again do so well. I did okay. But I did better than what I did before. Because now I realized like, okay, clearly swearing is not going to work. Just
There were
swearing.
jokes.
There were actual jokes.
Yeah.
There were actual, like, I wrote a joke, like, wow. So then I realized that, okay, maybe if I keep doing this, maybe I'll get slowly better. But Andrew Neto hit the ground running. I think at that show, Hari Kanda saw him and basically took him away and, like, you know, you opened for me. Good for him. Good for him. But for me, it was a very different path of, you know, trying to do smaller shows and trying to improve before I can do anything. I think it took me 5 years to even know what I was doing.
I think for all comedians, everyone was I've seen Shaq from the beginning in Oasis where you get lost and you don't know how to come out. You know, and her jokes have improved. And I think like what she said as well, because she started as a writer. So for those who have the ability to do that, to write, some people are not good writers. Some people write better than, you know. How she formulate the jokes and all that, it comes through. So she has like, do you do that when you write? You know, like okay, like that.
Yeah.
There's a
Like you need to
formula.
see it, right?
Yeah. I do write, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me as well. Like I will see my 5 pages of jokes, and then sometimes I get very upset because I come back to it and I'm like, yeah, this is such a beautiful phrase. Why I forget? I'm like, why? And then when you're on stage, to summarize that beautiful phrase, sometimes it's just 2 or 3 words. So you don't know. But yeah. So everyone needs to. It's kind of like, what's the word? Because nobody starts comedy with just having a great set and then just go on.
And
from
they keep getting better.
No, God. I mean, there has been a few. I mean, in every generation, I think there's 1 or 2.
Hanan is
Hanan is your generation. I think Jason is the generation after mine.
No, but
my generation was Andrew Neto lah.
Yeah. I know what you say. You say that they hit the ground running.
Yeah.
But it takes a while for them to have that set. That was a good set, which everybody is like, okay, this is the set.
No, yeah, of course it takes. I mean, like I think with Andrew, Jason, and Hanan, they kind of had that growth was very fast. But I feel like sometimes that fast growth also is detrimental to the act itself. Like because it becomes this thing, and then they don't grow as a comedian. But I mean, of course, anything can happen. So if you see, like in talent wise, sometimes you start from here, sometimes you start from here. If you start from here, you can keep going up. If you start from here, you still have to make yourself up, but you can do that. It doesn't matter which level you start at. At the end of the day, it's just about how you get to where you want to go, and you can start from here or you can start from here. It doesn't
But
really matter.
you can still get
You can,
there.
yeah. I mean, I'm one very good example from starting from here, because like if you look at that time, I think it was me, Jen Han, Zach, Poon Ji Ho. Yes, and one
Jason
more.
wasn't your batch.
No, Jason was the batch after. Jason has been doing it for 11 years. The 16 for me. So at the end of the day, like out of all of them, they all hit the ground running. Like they all were starting here. I was here in a way, right? But I worked my way up, and I slowly but surely, learn how to do comedy, and then eventually find out it's very scientific in a way. It's very structured. You have to learn the rules to break the rules, right?
Yep.
So that's what I just went and broke the rules, which is wrong. Like if you don't know the rules, how are you going to break the rules? And that's when I realized, okay, maybe I need to figure out the rules first before I break them.
Yeah.
And that's what I tried to do the whole, and in 5 years, it took me about 5 years to be at a level where I can compete with others, or, be...
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. I because that's when Jason came out, and that's when, I felt like Jason Rizal, I felt like I was at par with them, although I started 5 years earlier.
That's interesting because I never see that connection.
That's why me, Jason, and Rizal we always work together, because it took me 5 years to get to the level where they were when they start. Right? So
So you had worked for 5 years and they kind of came in like that.
Yes.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Interesting perspective, even for me. I know him.
So you know how now we live in the woke culture and
Sure.
PC culture and all that. So how has that sort of impacted the comedy scene? And like, do you ever feel like scared, like you're gonna tell a joke and you're gonna be cancelled?
I think it's easier not to be cancelled in Malaysia than
Yeah,
to be cancelled
in the States.
anywhere else,
Yeah.
like especially in the States, any white people country lah.
Yeah,
I think,
true.
Because the guilt over there. Yeah, it's I like when I do tours in Australia, I have to remind the white people that I'm an Asian talking about Asian culture, so it's okay.
It's
for
okay,
them. It's
yeah.
okay for them to laugh. My first year when I did that, I could see their faces were like horrid. Then I realized, oh my God, yeah, there is such a thing as cancel culture here.
Yeah.
But it's nice when you let all the Karens like, what do you call this? And the funny part about comedy overseas, like in Australia, US, or wherever, people come to watch you, especially if you're a traveling comedian. I was surprised. I thought, most of my Malaysian, Singapore people will come. But that would be like one group. And then everyone else are like
Locals.
they're white local. And we went to small towns. We went to small towns where I remember in this small little town called Parramatta, or where there was only one couple that was Asian.
In Australia.
Australia. Everyone was white. There was a whole group of bears, but those were like the gay bears.
The gay bears.
I was
Yeah,
just going to
the
say
gay
not the
bears.
animal.
Not the animal. Like a whole group of gay bears. They were very fun. All 10 of them in front. And everyone else was like white aunties, Oh, they're older than Shaq.
I'm still imagining a show with just bears. Like,
They were all like that. But it was fun. I mean, first thing first, I do believe that for us Asian comics, we always talk very fast. So the first thing that I have to learn when you go overseas is talk slower, because we also have a certain accent. So they are also trying to figure out,
But do you worry about that?
No, actually,
He's
I
already
don't.
No, not about talking fast. I'm talking about being...
Yeah, because when I do a lineup, I always remind the crowd, like, remember where you are right now. And I always tell them, like, I'm going to say a lot of fucked up shit tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
Starting
when you were there, I did the Adima no joke.
Oh, yeah.
And so... Yeah, and I always remind them that, like, remember where you are. Just a comedy show. Nothing is said out of spite or bad
This is
intentions.
the most gangster thing. So remember where you are. Do you follow up? Do you know who I am?
But has there been like a serious case of cancel culture in the Malaysian comedy scene?
In the Malaysian comedy scene, I don't
or
think
at
so.
in Joke Factory or Crack House. Do you remember?
Yes. No, I mean, it's not a serious case or anything
Okay.
like that. I think there has been people who have, I mean, mostly it's open micers that just starting out, and they don't really understand, like how I didn't understand what comedy was. They also don't understand. They just think that if you shock and awe enough that,
Or when you did your Eddie Rock.
no, not that one. I'm just saying that, no, but I just swore. I didn't swore at anybody, or I didn't make, other people the victim. However, there are people, like I've seen people come and use the N-word for no reason and like, simply punch down to women.
There was one open mic that one guy went up. He was so bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, it has happened.
Yeah, no, he was talking shit about women.
Yeah,
And
it just wasn't funny.
Because even he wasn't funny. He was talking crap about women, and I could feel all the audience was going on.
Yeah.
It's like you lose the trust with the audience.
Yeah. And then somehow, usually this type of open micers, they want their 3 minutes, After 1 minute, like, yo, bro, die. You just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
Sometimes they want more than 3 minutes.
Yeah. And you're like,
The audacity, dude.
yeah, the audacity. You're like, excuse me. I'm like, switch off the mic.
No,
turn it off.
but it has happened. Also, I mean, I don't know whether to say that they are completely to blame or whatever, because I had the same thing. Like, I didn't know what comedy was. I thought comedy was a certain thing, which was wrong. But they come up and do. I mean, after that, if obvious, somebody like that, I would go up to them and say, like, no, that's not how. You don't punch down, you punch up. You don't make a victim out of your comedy. And if the victim is somebody who cannot defend themselves, then what's the point? So I tell them, if they come back and do the same thing again, then they're banned straight away. But they are always welcome to come back and try again.
Yep.
Right? To learn from
There is
previous
space.
mistakes.
Also,
Yeah, to
there's
make the
one
mistake.
that has been banned recently.
Oh no, that was a different story. Don't get
What's that?
spilling so much tea. Like nobody's business like that. Hey, what do you think? Son, what? Coffee bean? No, but yeah, I mean, I think cancel culture is. If a lot of people will say, oh no, it's stifling comedy, blah blah blah, and all that. I don't think so. I'm actually the opposite. I think it's very important that we know our boundaries and we know what we talk about, and we know and we feel like there is something that there is consequences to what we say. We
Yeah.
always want to have freedom of speech, but we never want to have freedom of consequence, right? And that's the thing. And we always feel like, we should be able to say anything we want. Yes.
Yeah.
But within reason. If you in that sense, I should be able to shoot anyone I want.
Yeah, I feel it. Okay, that is correct. However, I feel the bigger you are, the bigger the lines of those consequences are blurred. Just
Yes,
because the person, it's a sought after comic.
Yeah, I think
that has
big.
too big that perhaps like got like 20 over million.
Like Dave
just to-
Chappelle will never
Yes.
be cancelled.
So like, okay, yes. For example, like
No.
Dave
Go
Chappelle.
ahead. Okay.
I personally feel that, his new comedy show, I've watched it. I couldn't stand watching it. I'm sorry.
Okay, did you watch it till the end though?
No,
I did.
didn't watch
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
You should.
It was painful.
No,
It
it
was
was
painful.
It was very painful. The reason there is a reason why what he did. Every time
But
I
you're the
watch-
one that is
I'm not defending him.
saying that the consequences matter.
Yes. Again, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending him.
Okay.
Right?
Then-
But however, I would give anyone a chance to give me a reason, to give me the within reason of what you're saying what you're saying. Now, I'm not defending the fact that that he did a lot of jokes about the trans community, right? Now, at the end of if you watch
Yeah, I
till the-
watched it until the end.
yeah,
and
if
I
you
know,
watch till the
yeah.
end of the show, you realize that what he's doing is
It's like paying reverence to his friend.
to his friend
yeah.
who was trans, and basically the fact that what he said was the trans community turned their back on this person, and if they can turn their back to this person, that is why I can turn my back to them. And the fact that, look, again, I'm not saying it's well done. I'm not saying
Yeah.
this thing. I'm just saying that there is the within reason in some people's eyes to show that, look, he was friends with a trans person. That trans person killed herself because she was bullied by trans people. And he's bringing that into light, right? But here's the thing. As you said, the boundaries are blurred, like with Dave Chappelle, because they say, and to say that he can never be cancelled, yes he can. If he does a Louis C.K., I'm sure he will be cancelled.
Oh yeah.
But what he
No,
did,
but I feel like that goes beyond comedy though. That's
no, fair enough. But when you look at Ricky Gervais, right?
Yeah.
What he did, what the jokes he did in the Golden Globes and stuff like that, like like Caitlyn Jenner, great hero, blah blah blah, but didn't do a lot for women drivers. Now that joke, no, and that joke, when you look at it, who's the victim here? Is it trans people? No, it was Caitlyn Jenner because she hit someone. Like, look at that. Look, you have to look at the sins of the person being victimized here, and not just think that, oh, if you talk about one trans person, you're talking about the trans community as a whole. And I mean, are you saying that it's because you belong to a community you are immune to being an asshole? No, because if you're an asshole, you should be called out to be an asshole, whether you are no matter which community you belong in. Now, there's obviously cleverer ways to do a lot of things, and there's clever ways to do, if you want, like in Malaysia, it's very difficult to talk about the government, right? Very difficult to joke about the government, especially if you're doing it on radio or you're doing it on TV, right? And the only way you can do it is to be clever about it. Is to make a joke so hidden that, people get it, they get it. People don't, they move on.
Yeah. It can go in.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. There are clever way to do things. There are not clever way to do things. There's just basically bashing, and there's also, making a joke that is holding up a mirror to society and telling them that, look, this situation that we have right now is something that we are going through. However, there is, maybe we should look at different angles to this. And comedy is basically holding a mirror to society and telling them, look, this is us, how we are, right? It's one way to look at it. The best comedies, I think, is the ones that, you go laugh and then you come back and you're like, yeah, actually what, there's something more to this.
Do you think that comedy can change a person's mind?
Yes, 100%.
It's so funny because I was just in another podcast, okay, and then they threw all this, how would I say, they came, and one of the reasons like, oh, because comedy and satire cannot change a person's mind. I'm like, in my mind was like, no. Every time you walk into a comedy room, someone has changed your mind.
Yeah.
If you are having a good time. Because, of course, it was drawn, they did their theses and they had like all these theories, and they did their homework, and I'm like, no, I think you've been talking to the wrong people. I mean, I feel, for one, comedy can change a person's mind. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, even watching a Netflix special can change a person's mind.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for like one of my favorites, Hannah Gatsby, which I know a lot of comedians who are comedians don't like her style. But I liked her style.
Fair enough.
Okay? But I refuse to talk to my fellow comedians about it because I have talked to one or two, and the how would I say,
the blowback.
Yeah, the blowback was too much that in my mind I'm just going to take her on as my own personal chariot, because I understand okay, this is for her first one. I've not seen Douglas. I saw Nanette. Yeah. So with Nanette, I sympathize with her. Not only that, I understand her whole theory of how she did her special. So with someone like, okay, Dave Chappelle, all right. I'm sorry, I personally feel Dave Chappelle's a dick.
No, and you are 100% entitled to
I
this.
feel Dave Chappelle's a dick.
100%.
And even though he wants to highlight that as a mirror to society, he only knows that he could do that because he is Dave Chappelle.
Because he is Dave Chappelle.
100%.
Because he is. It's like Russell Peters.
Okay,
not exactly like Dave Chappelle, but Russell Peters. Okay, someone like Russell Peters, whom apparently in the comedy circuit, we know he still jokes, he does this, he does that, but hey, when he comes down, he still sells 5,000
Correct.
packs. So again, the bigger, I feel that sometimes with comedy, the bigger you are, the more of an asshole you become.
No, it's more of an asshole you can become. And
That
whether you
too.
take up the challenge or not.
That too.
And
I've seen it.
and
I've seen it where people have become asshole because they know they can sell
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and no, think about this. Like Ricky Gervais, right? Like if you look at, I mean, and you're entitled to what you feel
Of course.
about Dave Chappelle, and I completely agree with you. However, like for me,
I'm
Dave,
not advocating it.
No,
I'm not
neither am
going
I.
around.
Neither am I.
And like, hey, let's talk about Dave Chappelle being a dick.
I'm not.
I don't need
Yeah,
to do that.
Exactly. And I'm not. I also am not advocating like go and watch Dave Chappelle right now. No, I'm just saying that Dave Chappelle had a reason to do what he did. When you look at Ricky Gervais's this thing, he was being a dick for the sole purpose of being a dick in the special.
It's the same thing. So let's take Hannah Gatsby for instance, because we are talking about male comedians and male comedians. Hannah
Sure.
Gatsby blew up after Nanette.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of male comedians I know for certain have said a lot of nasty things. Okay, about her special. I feel I feel it's kind of unfair. As a woman, I feel it's always the men's, because comedy has always been a boys' game. It has always been a boys' game. 30 years ago, it still is. It's just that my
I feel
balls,
like Harresh is.
I feel my balls have grown to be big enough for any guy in Asia. But then,
I feel
yes,
like
you wanna
Harresh
say?
is
No, it's-
disagreeing with you.
I mean, you're only saying it as a boys' game because predominantly the ones who is actively participating are men.
Yeah,
Yeah, but just based on that data, you can't say it's a boys' game because I mean,
honey, it's the boys' game. Trust me.
I mean, just because women are not making a choice to step on stage doesn't mean it's a boys'
Honey,
game.
you've been doing comedy for how long?
8 years.
Okay.
Okay. Let's call it a night.
No, I feel that like within Malaysia, I don't know a lot about comedians outside of Malaysia. Within Malaysia, I feel like the older comedians have a certain perspective of how stand-up should be. And when there's someone like Nanette, the show, that's not stand-up.
That's not stand-up.
Like
I've heard
they
that.
have
1 million,
that
yeah.
perception that
Yeah.
stand-up must be like this, and if it's a bit different, then it's
Well, when I
And also,
started,
but there's also a
Yeah.
lot of this trope that women are not funny and all of
when
that.
I started comedy, my jokes apparently were not stand-up material. Around town, I hear, they were not joke lah. She do cabaret comedy, she come
Cabaret,
out,
yeah.
cabaret comedy. She come out, she show a nan, she laugh, she jiggle a bit.
To be
then
fair,
she
I also
bounce.
come out so many.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Oh, that's my new show. You don't know.
Facts.
It's called Nanette. It's called Nanette.
And I agree with you. I also felt very uncomfortable when people were dissing Nanette as a special. Now, whether it's a stand-up comedy special or a comedy special is two very different things. But I mean, but that's the thing.
Correct.
That's the thing.
It's correct.
You are allowed. If Netflix is giving you money to do a show, you can do whatever the hell you want.
But here's the thing. Why is there a difference? Like okay. Every time I talk to a male comic about Hannah Gatsby, that is okay. Let's just say everyone wants to be fair lah.
Okay.
All right. Every time I talk about Hannah Gatsby, I always get this from the male's perspective. Oh, it's actually what she's doing is not stand-up comedy. It's more like a TED talk. If you want to go that way, that's fine. But that wouldn't be like, that's not how stand-up comedy is. And I've even seen online guys, usually it's guys who break down her routine and say, this is not comedy. If you're supposed to do this, then, it's supposed to come out like this. It's not supposed to be like this. I'm like, but who are you? This person is just a YouTuber.
No, yeah,
Right?
and
This
the thing
person's
is,
a YouTuber.
Shaq is right.
Yeah.
The people who review comedy is very black and white. There is no gray. And if you're either comedy or you're not. You're either on the side or you don't. And it's stupid because after I saw Nanette, to be honest, I also wanted to do something like that. Now, not the same thing, obviously.
course.
But I wanted to have a message. I wanted to have a more powerful impact
Message and impact for your
rather
audience.
than just doing an anthology of jokes and just like everybody ha, everybody happy, go home, right? Which is why I did my new show, I'm Sorry I Shouted, which is it's a different show. It's got a message at the end, and which is why I did that, because because of the net in so many ways, right? After watching the net, after watching even Dave Chappelle up to a point, because of the message at the end. Even after watching, other stand-up comedians as well. And I realized that, as I said, it's a mirror to society. What we do is basically showing a mirror to society. And if we our words are so powerful that if we can make, you see how like a lot of people say women, if you go on a date, if you're funny, there is more chance of the woman or your date liking you back, right? So this is what we do. We make people ha ha ha, tickle tickle, laugh laugh laugh, and then we give you a message. You are more susceptible to receive the message.
You're more likely to receive. Yeah.
You're more susceptible to receive the message, and therefore we hold a lot of power here. We hold a lot of power to basically get our message across, and you are responsible now for what kind of message you're sending across. Right. And if that message is a message of something that is, of reverence, of importance, then great. But if your message is something of hate and this thing, then, maybe not so much. Which is why I say cancel culture is something that gives us that. But
also, like, where's the line? Fear. You know what I mean? Humor is so subjective. Like, how do you draw a line? Is there even a line?
You have to cross a line and then...
Yeah, the only way to find the only way
try a bit lah.
No, the only way to actually find the line is to cross the line, then take one step back and then draw the line there.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Pull back.
You know how they test
when
medicine?
You're having death threats.
You know how they test medicine? They give you until you die, then they say one less. That's maximum strength.
Basically, it's what COVID is now.
Yeah.
And also to add up to the stand-up, they're not being stand-up or that's not comedy. Like, the traditional way of stand-up is just having a mic there and just making people laugh. That's like the traditional format or concept. But then the thing is, like, we tend to put a lot of ourselves into our craft where we see things differently. That's why we have like reconceptual and experimental shows. Like, take rap. Start out with boom bap.
Did you say
Rap
oh,
music.
Okay.
Oh, rap.
I thought you said like grab.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, what?
He's putting in grab now?
Where is this going?
Is the mic on? So rap. Back then, the golden generation of rap, it was just old school sound, boom bap, and all that. Now we have mumble rap. We have trap. People rapping over trap beats. There's lo-fi. There's all kinds of. Essentially, it's still rap. Same thing goes to comedy. There's different ways to do things. Like Nanat was a different way. If you watch, what's the Indian dude? Something Hassan.
Hassan Minaj.
Yeah, Hassan Minaj.
He's in there.
Yeah, so his special, the comebacking was something. It was a different way. So because he was taking a whole memory lane of his family and he was showing all this.
Oh yes.
There was many different ways to do it. So that not stand up thing is fucking bullshit. Yeah.
Also, like, when somebody finds a joke offensive, right? When does it matter and when doesn't it?
No, I mean, look, somebody's going to get offended.